He's coming back at Pebble, Charlie. We're going to get Spieth here in a couple weeks at Pebble Beach, coming back from a wrist surgery. Nice to have you aboard, ready to roll on a Saturday morning. Thanks to our friends at Insperity. Visit Insperity.com for powerful HR solutions with exceptional follow through. Charlie, another great week in the books. We got some TGL going on, a little PGA Tour to review as the 2025 season is off and running. How are you this morning?
I am excited in that, that flippin' horrible fire in California is getting close to being out,
Yeah.
and that's just been so depressing and just a tragedy. I mean, of great, proportions, and they're going to postpone the tournament at Riviera, which is right there at Pacific Palisades.
That's right, Charlie. We thought in the middle of this week that most of the fires were contained. I saw another lithium factory close to the LA area catch on fire this week. So they're still having their struggles, and our thoughts, this show, this station, our thoughts out
Yeah.
to everyone
Yep.
impacted. And yeah, as far as the world of golf is concerned, Riviera is what, 4 weeks away. The next, you've got the Amex going on in Palm Springs this week. Next week, you get the Farmers Insurance at the Great Torrey Pines, then the Pebble Beach Pro Am where Jordan Spieth will return, then the Phoenix Open, and then the Genesis at Riviera is supposed to close the California swing. So I'll be interested to hear your thoughts, Charlie. Do you move locations? Do you go back to Torrey Pines? I mean, that's a world class venue right there.
Those are big decisions that have to be made because of the logistics and where players are going to stay and so on and so forth. I mean, sometimes you just got to shut it down and wait for next year and let this all play.
Yeah.
What it has to do.
I really like the renovations that have been made to the stadium course there in Palm Springs. I mean, I think you could go back there. We're used to seeing really low scores around these three golf courses, but the stadium course has really shown its teeth this week, Charlie.
It has.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you talked to Billy Harmon at all about some of those changes? And you've actually you've played quite a bit of golf in Palm Springs. You
Yes.
used to have
Yes.
Q School there, PGA Tour events.
Yes, it's like playing in a dome. The weather is so good, and the conditions of the golf courses are manicured to the 10th degree or the 100th degree, you might say. So every course out there, they got over 100 golf courses in that area of
Yeah.
the Coachella Valley.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw our friend Peter Kennedy is out there this week.
Peter, yeah,
He's working for your good friend Paul Marchand
yes.
out there. So we went over to go watch the PGA Tour event. Good to see Peter out there. And yeah, a great tournament through 36 holes. You have Rico Hoey and Charlie Hoffman in a tie for first. We're going to hear from Charlie Hoffman a little bit later on. He went into depth last night talking about, what it's like to contend in PGA Tour events at 46, 47, 48 years old.
How about the kid at 17?
Blades Brown. We'll hear some sound from him later on. This cat, Blades Brown, 17 years old, making his second start on the PGA Tour. He played in the Myrtle Beach Classic last year and finished 26th. But this is a different breed right here, Charlie. Just this past summer, Blades Brown became the first player alongside Bobby Clampett and Tiger Woods to medal in both the U.S. Junior and the U.S. Amateur. And he decided at 17, him and his parents made a decision that his college golf would be played on the PGA Tour, Charlie.
And that's fine. I can't judge his decision, but long term, he's going to end up having problems, with physical, with wrists and arms, and 20 years of playing golf is hard on you.
Yeah.
But maybe he can win and then go win the
Yeah.
Masters.
Yeah, we've seen, from players like Will Zalatoris and Jordan Spieth,
Yeah,
28, 29 years old.
yeah, they've been playing since they're
Uh,
7 years old.
Incredible.
They've already had a career.
Yeah. And then you got a player like Tom Kim, Charlie. He turned pro at 16, and it seems like he's lived his entire life in the spotlight.
Yeah, yeah,
And
sure
he,
has.
I I don't want to make any assumptions, but watching Tom Kim at the President's Cup, it's almost like he doesn't know a life outside of being a pro. He turned
No, he
pro at
doesn't.
16.
No,
Yeah.
no, that happens to a lot of kids, and because the golf world is a unique world for kids to grow up, and all of a sudden you get a sport with what we've done to it. The great teachers abound, helping these junior programs that are going on, and now they're at 17 years old. They're playing in tour
Yeah.
events. You know, my grandson last year missed playing in the Houston Open by one shot on the last hole. So I mean, and he was 16.
Yeah,
So
he's
it's
there.
incredible.
He's there. Charlie Wiley's there.
Charlie Wiley.
Taking names at TCU.
As,
I don't know. I think we discussed it last week, but it's funny. I was telling Charlie, I opened my kind of college golf news tab last week, and the first article I see is that young Charlie Wiley, the grandson of Charlie Epps, won the academic athletic award for his first semester in school. Not only killing it on the golf course, Charlie, in the classroom as well.
yes, it's he's making himself proud and he's working hard and he's enjoying it. And my hats off to his mom and dad. They have provided him every opportunity to learn and to be exposed to this great game. So yeah, I'm looking for. I'm gonna go out and watch him play in Palo Alto in California.
Beautiful. Couple
Yeah,
spring events.
yeah,
You get to watch them in California. I'm sure they've got a couple tournaments there at maybe Colonial in Fort Worth and maybe TPC San
yeah.
Antonio.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, great. Two great college events there. We'll be looking forward to keeping an eye on TCU and Charlie Wiley, and the opportunities in front of them are endless with the PGA Tour U now in
Yes,
place.
yes.
You finish top 10 as a college player. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. You finish top five at the end of a college season, you get your PGA Tour card.
Yep, yep.
You finish top 10, and there's opportunities out there on Corn Ferry Tour and Latino America, plus NIL, and it's just, as a college golfer, the world has changed. We'll get to more on the Amex later on. Charlie, what'd you think of TGL Match 2 this past Tuesday? It was
It,
Los Angeles Golf Club versus Jupiter Links Golf Club, and we saw Tiger for the first time in his own league.
and he's smiling.
Yeah,
He's human, and that's what I think is cool to watch Tiger and interact with the fans and not be as serious as he always has been. And I think the guys are taken aback a little. He's a human,
yeah.
and I like that product, and it's going to get better. It's different, but just like I was asking you this morning, Top Golf came out charging with it with a new format, a new type of driving range, great food, and 3 stories,
Yeah.
and not, now it's kind of waned.
Well, I think you've alluded to it a lot when we've talked about golf, professional golf ratings.
Yes.
That actually in 2025 there are probably more people actually going to the golf course, less intimidated by the golf course, rather than going to some of these alternate locations. That and with COVID gone, I think the height of top golf might be coming down. But I think what you're seeing, Charlie, is the bot the biggest reason why top golf numbers went down, in 2024 is I think more people are actually going to the golf course and playing 18
Yeah,
holes.
sure. They're finding the golf
Yeah,
courses, the daily fee golf
yeah,
courses are busy. You can
yeah,
see that by the count on the PGA. I mean, on the PGA of America. All over this country. There's 30 million people playing
yeah.
golf, so that's good.
And
And
Charlie, you utilize the full swing technology at your workshop. That's the same technology that they're using for TGL.
oh yeah,
And you
yeah.
found a lot of success with that, haven't
Yeah,
you?
very nice.
Yeah.
It's really really an amazing tool, and we have a lot of fun with it, and it's good for teaching.
Yeah, yeah. I completely agree with your sentiments on Tiger and just how positive a feeling it is coming off week 2 of TGL. I thought Tiger's entrance to Eye of the Tiger, that song, I thought that was electric. To be able to watch him pain free and enjoy the new format was a breath of fresh air.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's saved his professional life, and we
Yeah.
get to watch him a few more years.
Yeah. No, I think this league will be around as long as Tiger can breathe. I think the best thing about this new league is that it gives us a way to watch Tiger a couple more times a month.
Okay, one question.
Yes, sir.
Little Tiger,
Charlie.
Charlie. How old will he be when he gets his first victory on the PGA Tour?
Well, I think Charlie's going to go to college. I think Tiger's going to want that for him. Would you agree? Tiger values the books.
And
Went to,
amateur golf,
yeah,
and yeah,
you know,
okay,
winning a U.S. amateur has to be top of the list. I'm going to say 21, Charlie.
okay.
I think he's got a couple more years of growing. If you look at Charlie Wood's hand size and foot
It's
size,
incredible.
it is the size of a human who is probably destined to be somewhere around 6'4" or 6'5".
Yeah,
So you're going to see basically a replica of Tiger. I don't want to say a replica because 82 wins,
yeah.
14 majors, big shoes to fill. But I think you're going to see a 6'4", 6'5" version of Tiger Woods in Charlie, and I have full belief in this kid. I keep track of kind of what he's doing on the junior scene. He's making a lot of improvements, and I think he's got a foundation around him that's going to set him up for success.
Yeah,
Charlie,
yeah, and he looks
you
like
know,
a great kid.
yeah, he was having fun with TGL. I'll be
Yeah.
interested. We saw the Lakers draft Bronny James. I'll be interested to see when Jupiter Golf Links for TGL goes ahead and drafts Charlie Woods. This would be a good place for him to start. It's good entertainment, and this is not, TGL is not something that is going. I think a lot of people are confused about this. This is not a league that's going to compete with the PGA Tour and Live Golf. This is
Oh,
a
no.
Tuesday exhibition.
Yeah, that's it.
And on Tuesday nights, this time of the year, you've got nothing else going on. Sure, you've got college basketball and NBA, but funny enough, TGL Week 1 and TGL Week 2 did better numbers than any other sports event on Tuesday nights the last 2
Yeah.
weeks. So it's very positive.
It's a business development. They're using golf to make money and they stay in the game. So we'll see. We're seeing how the uh, Top Golf has run its course. Now we're going to see where all this is going to lead.
Yeah, we absolutely will. And we got to take a quick break. I got a couple more. I do a little pros and cons after every TGL match. Got a couple more pointers there. Next segment, we'll shift over to getting up to date with, Charlie Hoffman's words after being the co-leader at the American Express. This is a great story. Charlie Hoffman still contending in PGA Tour events in his late 40s, also giving back to the game. He captained the Junior President's Cup team this past summer. Really great story. He captained Blades Brown,
Yeah.
17-year-old Blades Brown, and had some really good quotes yesterday on what makes Blade Brown so special. And we'll also get to your questions for the Golf Doctor a little bit later on. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour presented by Insperity. Back after this.
The Charlie Epps Golf Hour, powered by Insperity, continues
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Will Doctor and Charlie Epps.
We were entertaining, and we hit a lot of shots. I think the people here, they got to see how bad pros can be. It was just a boat race. Oh my goodness! But we had a great time. As what's our teammate Tom Kim thinking right now? Like, oh my god! We honestly didn't think that anyone could possibly get hit in here, but that was one of the funniest moments I've ever seen. Kids hitting that shot like that, we were just dying. And then the chip shot, the next one should have gone in. That would have been just like the most all world three, and it was just one of those weird nights. And then on top of that, kids has is your microphone still stuck in your ear?
Yep, still stuck in here. I can't hear anything. Marty's gonna get it out for me.
That was Tiger Woods talking about his team there, Kevin Kisner and Max Homa. They struggled a little bit on Tuesday, but you can color me obsessed with the entertainment value that TGL is going to bring to the world of golf. Tiger's team, Jupiter Golf Club, went down 12-1, but so many positives that we talked about in the first segment, Charlie. And not only Tiger, I thought you talk about the business venture that this is for some of these former athletes. Take Serena Williams and her husband.
Yeah, that was good seeing her there.
Yeah,
I wanted her to start playing golf.
Her daughter, and I'm blanking on her daughter's name. Forgive me, but little Serena is playing all sports: tennis, golf. She's going to be quite an athlete. I'm a few years behind Charlie Woods, but Serena and Alexis Ohanian, my apologies. They own LA Golf Club, and Serena joined the broadcast with Matt Barry, and Alexis was in, an all white suit and kind of chirping, at his team, play better. And I love that kind of stadium energy that golf now has with TGL.
It's really remarkable. And they've invested a lot of money, but the technology is there, and they're going to get that improved too. And but bottom line, it's still got to get it in that 4.25-inch hole.
Yeah,
No,
the green, the way they're able to change up every green, every hole is very impressive. I think the reason for, I think my last pro was the last 2 weeks seeing Justin Rose and Shane Lowry bring out that Ryder Cup energy to this kind of competition. That was good to see. And yeah, the one con was, we've had 2 consecutive blowouts. In TGL match 1, the Bay beat New York 9-2, and TGL match 2, LA beat Jupiter 12-1. I think the one thing players are still adapting to, Charlie, is hitting those chip shots off the turf and some of the putts that this machine under the green is capable of bringing out. And I think over the next few weeks, you'll see players get used to that, and you'll see much closer competitions.
Yeah, sure, it'll evolve.
Yeah. So that concludes the TGL stuff. Before we get to Charlie Hoffman, got to review very quick. Nick Taylor last week picked up PGA Tour win number 5 at the Sony Open in Hawaii in a playoff over Nico Echeverria. Nick Taylor chipped in on 18 to get in a playoff in that crowded leaderboard. He improves his playoff record to 3-0. Let's hear from Nick Taylor after that win last week in Honolulu.
Yeah, it was one of those where you just try to go as until they don't let you play anymore, essentially. Like I said, Nico and I were kind of neck and neck all day long, and he was hitting it great. He made a couple of really nice putts on 15 and 16 where I missed a couple of short ones there. And, to be able to hang in there. And again, I was 1 over through 7 and kind of get on a birdie streak there. And it's always so bunched here, but, I did a really good job every day, really, just kind of hanging in there. And, fortunate for me, really good things happened at the end.
Charlie, you talked about in the past, you played a round at a competitive round at PGA National, I think it was, made triple on the first hole, still managed to put together a very good round. Similar stuff with Nick Taylor last week, 1 over through 7 holes, managed to get in the playoff and find a way.
Yep. No, and once again, in the desert, the weather is so good that even if you get off to a little bad start, you can come back, and the conditions are magnificent. I can't say that enough, and that helps the pros early on in the the start of the year. The season this is almost like spring training out there, and then they're going to move to Florida where the conditions are going to be harder. The spring is different in Florida, it can be really, challenging as far as being able to play a good round of golf. So we're off to a good start.
Yeah, and we'll and as far as the next 5 events, they'll stay in California. We got Torrey Pines next week, then Pebble, and then go over to Phoenix for the Wasted Management, as they've been calling it the last 2 years. I think after some of the debauchery we saw last year in Phoenix, I think they're gonna. I saw general admission for Phoenix this year is up to $140, Charlie. So
A day?
a day, a day,
No.
yeah. $140 because Charlie, it got out of hand last year.
Yeah.
You had people, storming through the gates like Astro World, and just, it was a circus last year, Charlie. That's
Yep.
what it was.
It's definitely a
Yeah,
circus.
and they're gonna have to get it together a little bit in Phoenix, and then after that, they go to Mexico for a week there to Vallarta, where you were a couple months ago,
Uh-huh.
and then on to PGA National for Florida. Charlie, I know it's not, it's not your call, but if you were the commissioner having to juggle this issue with the Genesis Invitational and not being able to play at Riviera, do you stay in California and play at a course and basically make the tournament about, the proceeds going to the victims impacted by the fire? Or do you proceed to Florida and maybe play at a course like Concession or,
Well, I think the devastation is so bad that to play golf when people are really hurting and they don't have homes, they don't have food, and they don't have, you know, clothing and so on and so forth. Get out of there. Let the first responders, let's start getting the people back in their homes. I don't know what he'd do with 30,000 homes that have been destroyed. Now, where do those people go? Where do they, I mean, that just doesn't make sense. I mean, gosh darn, everything can happen in this world, but this is a tragedy that's just beyond belief.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think, maybe I personally, I think the best thing to do, maybe, Torrey Pines next week, the Farmers, they played on both courses, the North and South
Right.
course at Torrey Pines. I think you have to relocate it in California and drive all the proceeds back to the victims. I think that's the only, and I guess the PGA Tour does that anyways, each and every week.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
you
Or
got.
do you just cancel it?
I think you
Yeah.
cancel it. I mean, because of what it is, and let the focus go on getting those people, some place to live, some place to eat, where they're going to work. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't
No.
know. How,
It's horrible.
this
It's
is like
horrible, Charlie.
a war.
It's
War.
horrible. I guess the highest likelihood is that they cancel it out of respect to the victims, and obviously none of us, none of the players, PGA Tour, no one's gonna have a problem with that. Our thoughts are to all the victims there impacted by the LA fires. Charlie Hoffman's tied for the lead at the halfway point of the American Express, and he gave a great sentiment after his round yesterday. About how he's still contending on the PGA Tour at 45, 46, 47 years old. Here's how Charlie's getting it done.
As I said, 3 years ago, I wasn't very healthy and wasn't a very good golfer. If I feel good right this second, as I say, tomorrow morning, I could wake up and feel completely different. But when I'm healthy and the weather's warm, I feel like I can beat anybody in the world. When it's cold and my back's not feeling good, I don't think I can beat anybody in the world. So right now I'm in a good spot. I still enjoy practicing. I love the competition more than I do love the practice. And I don't like being away from the kids, but I'm lucky enough. My wife and kids are here. They're actually competing over at Thermal, competing on their own, doing equestrian and hunter jumper stuff. So they're spending money, and I'm trying to make money.
But the touring pros at 44, 45 are motivated by the Champions Tour. They're seeing Ernie Els
Yeah.
and
Bernhard
that group.
Langer.
Bernhard Langer go out there and have fun and keep going and everything's Champions Tour. It was a great invention.
Yeah.
And so
And
Freddie
Charlie,
Couples is still playing. Freddie Couples didn't think he was going to play past 40, and look at him, he's 60 years old, and he's out there, you know, he's got that horrible back, but he's still drawn, great raves. All the people flock to watch him swing.
They love him, Charlie.
Yes,
And still, that swing, it kind of like Ernie Els, looks the exact same as it did 20 years ago.
yes.
I mean, Freddie is still just flushing the golf ball. And Charlie Hoffman, 48 years old, he's going to be rolling into the Champions Tour around the same time as Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And we've said this a bunch, but I think when Tiger goes to the Champions Tour, Golf Channel already does a nice job, broadcasting the Champions Tour. The Mitsubishi Electric Championship is going on right now. Bernhard Langer playing some sensational golf less than a year after tearing his Achilles. I mean, we saw him at the Insperity Invitational 3 months after tearing the Achilles. And that just showed how much that tournament meant to him and how much Brian Nagel means to him, that he still showed up. Really motivating stuff. But I think once Tiger goes back to goes to the Champions Tour in 2 years, that they're gonna land a deal with ESPN. Just like wasn't when Jack and Arnold and Gary playing the Champions Tour, it was prime time on ESPN, wasn't it?
It was ESPN had some of the golf, and then it went to the news channel and went south. But
we've seen Tiger. ESPN handed Tiger a Tuesday evening spot. Not easy to do. And Tigers, they're not paying for production. ESPN is paying TGL. And if Tiger can get an indoor simulator league on ESPN, I think when he's on Champions Tour, I think that tour is going back to ESPN prime time. I really do.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see. So Charlie Hoffman in the lead, up there tied with Rico Hoey. Rico Hoey, one of my favorite young players on the PGA Tour out of USC. I think he's going to make a big splash on the PGA Tour here soon. But yeah, another great story is 17-year-old Blades Brown. We've talked, we've talked quite a bit about Blades and what he's done, and becoming the first medalist of both the U.S. Junior and the U.S. Amateur since Bobby Clampett and Tiger Woods. That is historic stuff. And he comes out here to Palm Springs this week, opens 72-64. Incredible numbers. Great second round comeback from the 17-year-old. Here was Brown after round 2.
I would just say my process, it's really easy to get sped up out here with all the people and cameras. And, I said a couple prayers and, I play golf right now for a living. And I promise you there are a lot more challenging things than playing golf for a living, whether it's a kid lying in bed in cancer. There's a lot to be grateful for out here. And I think just keeping it in perspective that, you get to play golf for free on an unbelievable golf course and with awesome people. So I think just keeping it in perspective definitely helped me today.
It's not for free. You get paid.
Yeah. He's, he's come from a good background, Charlie, very similar to Maverick McNeely.
Okay.
So that's a little more background on that answer. A lot different from the answer you would get from a Alejandro Tosti or someone that
Angel Cabrera.
Whose life and next meal depends on what's going on the golf course. Now, Blades Brown, hearing him talk, definitely has a mind.
His voice hadn't even changed.
No. And he's got some thoughts that are far beyond his years, but it definitely hasn't kicked in, I don't think, on what he's playing for. And just to put into perspective, Blades Brown opened 72-64. He's going into the weekend and tied for 40th. Charlie Hoffman won his first PGA Tour event in Palm Springs 4 months before Blades Brown was born. And then you fast forward to last summer, and Charlie Hoffman captained the U.S. Junior President's Cup team that Blades was competing on. And yesterday, Hoffman talked about, the difference between Blades Brown and your average 17-year-old.
Yeah, he's very polished. Let's put it this way. Surprising, this is what stuck out with me is that I got up before the team played, we'll say 5 a.m, I'd go and work out. So because I had to get some work because I'm still playing, and he was in the gym working on it. I don't know if I had that work ethic at 17. I promise you I didn't. I didn't know what the gym was. I didn't learn about that until I was probably our college golf coach, but he puts the work in. He's a solid golfer. And obviously the future is very bright for him. It's not easy out here though, and hopefully he has a lot of success. But it's a tough training ground out here on the PGA Tour, and hopefully he gets some success early on.
So we'll see, Charlie. Charlie Hoffman knows a lot about longevity. We'll see what Blades Brown can do. Obviously, off to a great start, but once that scar tissue's built up, you never know how they're going to respond, Charlie.
Right.
We got to go to break here. 8:30. We got to go to break. One more pointer on the American Express leaderboard. We'll get to more on this later on. Matthew Rydell. We interviewed his caddy a couple weeks ago, Drew Murdoch. Drew, played at University of Houston. Matthew Rydell just got his PGA Tour card through Q School. He went to Stafford, was a superstar golfer at Vanderbilt. Matthew Rydell opened 68-66 in the desert. He's in a tie for 20th going into the weekend. So we'll keep you up to date there. On the other side, we'll get to your questions. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hours Divine Disparity. Back after this.
You're listening to the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
All right, before we get to your questions for the Golf Doctor, Charlie, we got some business owners that feel like the walls are closing in and they have some obstacles to growing their business, and I think you have a place to send them.
I sure do. And we're starting a new year. We got a new president going to be in play. Everything's going in the right direction. But we still have to have a business plan. We have to have our small businesses go in the right direction So there's some challenges out there that a company by the name Insperity, an HR company that really specializes in helping small business succeed so communities can prosper. That's their motto, you might say. And so if you're starting a new business and you really want a little information or you need some more help with your HR, just call it Insperity. Log on to insperity.com and find the history of this company is just incredible. But it's a company that was born in Houston, Texas. It's been here since 1986, and it's proven that it can help thousands of small businesses. So insperity.com. It's a pretty good company, huh?
The history is really something, Charlie. This was a group of leaders, CEOs that were in the HR business long before anyone else. 30 plus years of experience to work helping business owners with their HR. From hiring and training to HR and compliance. You add in competitive benefit options. For your employees, and all of a sudden you're working with the best HR company in the business. So with Insperity, nothing is impossible. Visit Insperity.com for all your HR needs. Let's get to some questions for the golf doctor. It's from Lucas in Port Arthur. Hey, Charlie, massive fan. I'm down here at Babe Zaharis Golf Club in Port Arthur, and I've been working extremely hard to stop swinging over the top of the golf ball. Any tips that could help expedite this process?
There's a saying in golf when we're teaching is the golf swing starts from the ground up. And so when you set up to hit a golf shot, you put the hands on the club with a good grip, and then you have a stance that's wide enough to allow you to turn and get behind the golf ball and to get up at the top of the swing. Now the swing is going backwards, and then from right there at the pinnacle of the backswing, you got to put pressure on that lead foot, on that left foot if you're right-handed, and then as you press down and you're bringing the club down with the turning and motion of the body. The arms are almost free falling. Don't let your arms start your downswing. Start it with your good footwork. Get your hips out of the way, and all of a sudden the club is going to do the work, and you're going to have an effortless swing with a lot of power.
That free fall action that you talk about
Yeah.
at the first part of the transition, do you feel a little 1 second pause at the top to allow your arms to fall, or not
Well,
necessarily?
anytime something changes direction, it stops. So the backswing is going back. So now it's got to come and return to the golf ball. And so that motion there is a momentary little stop because of the physics of the deal. And then you let your arms and your body bring the club into the hitting area.
Beautiful, Charlie. Let's get to the next one. This is from Charles. Hey, Charlie. I play in the local game about 2-3 times a week, and would love to get to a place where I can break 90 a little more often. Any tips as far as scoring?
Well, it's a game of mistakes, and you can't let your mistakes bother you. You just accept that, and then you go when you're finished, work on the bad shots that you hit during that round. And as you improve your bad shots, your scores will improve a lot quicker than when you're trying to hit the perfect shot. So just you're going the right direction. You love to play, and you'll probably break 80 before you break 90.
Now, for his, we don't know Charles's game and where he's struggling, but for most of your students, are you seeing the more shots being wasted off the tee and in the fairway, or around the greens?
Well, it's a game that has three different areas around the green: chipping, putting, and pitching. You got to have that is the you got to get the best short game you can if you really want to score good. And then your iron play. Your iron play is really hard at first because it's the ball's on the ground and you've got to time the shot to make contact with the ball first, ground second. And Harvey Penick has always told us you want to hit the grass in front of the ball, not behind the ball, and let the club lift the ball in the air, You don't have to. And then the driving of the golf ball is really where people get in love with the game of golf, because it's off of a tee and the ball is in the air and you can swing up on it. And once you get that first ball in the air, man, women, child, that's the exciting part of the game of golf. So, three phases, practice all of them, get some good instruction, and it's a great game.
Great stuff. Here's Ewan. Hey, Charlie, I was watching the DP World Tour action this morning, and I'm amazed at how effortless Tyrrell Hatton hits his little cut. I've been playing a draw my whole life, but the cut looks a lot easier after watching players like Hatton and John Rahm. Tyrrell Hatton, he's really having a great year. Won the Alfred Dunhill Links Championship, playing some great golf, Charlie. Ewan wants to know, is there any truth in behind a cut being easier to hit than a draw?
Well, you can talk to a fade, but a hook won't listen. So you don't want that club, closing too quickly, and you got to keep the integrity of the face of the club at impact. And so you've got a tempo, timing, and rhythm. And the best to me is learn to practice in slow motion, so that each phase of the golf swing, your body and your hands, wrists, and arm, you know, they, your body's incredible. That mind will pick up what you're trying to do, and you want that effortless power. So, uh, good luck and hang in there and get yourself some good lessons.
With a cut, or an earlier question, you were talking about the arms free falling
Yeah.
in your and your transition. Now, with the cut, I think there's a lot of amateurs that feel that the cut should be hit from, it feels like an over the top,
Yeah.
choppy swing.
No.
It comes from the inside angle, doesn't it?
Well, yes, it does. But the thing that influences the golf ball is the club face. A cut is better described to me. You want to make contact with the golf ball with the face a little open to the target line. And then if you're trying to hit the draw, you're trying to square it and even close it. So you got to, clue into the club face at impact.
Yeah.
And it's open when it's a little cut, and it's closed when it's a little draw.
More questions to get to on the other side. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
The Charlie Epps Golf Hour, powered by Insperity, continues
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Will Doctor and Charlie Epps.
All right, closing out here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference. Let's get to a couple more of your questions. We'll get to a couple other headlines a little later on in the segment. Rory McIlroy, he gave some words this week about Tom McKibben possibly going to Live Golf. And if you're unfamiliar with Tom McKibben, this is one of the up-and-coming superstars on the European Tour scene. McKibben grew up at Hollywood Golf Club, same place that Rory grew up at. Rory's been his mentor since Tom was 10 years old. So we'll hear from Rory a little bit later on about that. Let's get to, let's close out your questions. This one's from Robert. Hey, Charlie, I went into PGA Superstore last week to get a whole new set of clubs. The service was horrible and they were out of most senior shafts. Any other recommendations on a good place to find a new set?
Well, actually, the Club Champion company that has open stores to fit golf clubs, and that's their business.
Yeah.
Just golf clubs, and they do a wonderful job, and they're thorough, and I would highly recommend if the nearest Club Champion club fitting business is where to go, unless you're a friend of a PGA pro that fits clubs at a country club. You can call them and they'll fit you.
Yeah.
If you have a friend that's a member, but go to the PGA pro. He or she can really get you set up, and not a retail outlet is different.
Yeah. I think the issue that PGA Superstore is having right now is after Christmas time, they run out of stock, and I went in there and must have been January 3rd in Tampa, Florida with my girlfriend's dad. He was buying a new set, Charlie. Needed an all new set. He's from Philadelphia, goes to Florida
Philly
for the winter. And he goes, we're going to PGA Superstore. I need a new set. And I'm like, this should be a great place. I mean, I go to the PGA Superstore in the Woodlands. They usually have everything. And we get in there. Once again, it's January 3rd. It's after Christmas. And they didn't have a thing in stock. Not a thing.
Well, that's good. Their business was good.
And you're right. And he goes, should we go over to Dick's Sporting Goods? And I go, no, they're not going to have anything, Charlie. At least from my perspective, Dick's is more of an overall sporting store. Maybe they have a couple sets here and there, but you're exactly right. As far as senior shaft clubs, getting the exact specifications,
yes,
man, Club Champion does a first-class job.
They really do a good job.
Yeah, they do. Let's get to the next question. This is the last one before we get to Rory. This is from Miller. I don't understand what the hype over TGL is. How could y'all be critical of Live Golf but not TGL? You may take this one or you?
Go ahead.
TGL, once again, for everyone who's not understanding this, TGL is not competing with the PGA Tour or Live Golf.
Right.
It is on Monday and Tuesdays. Very simple. And this is more of this is an enjoyment level product. We get to watch for the first time ever golfers compete on a shot clock in a stadium. And we get for the first time ever player interaction from the TV. We can hear the players mic'd up, and those inside the stadium can also hear the players mic'd up. It's state of the art. I think it's a great product, and it's here to stay.
Give it time. Give it time. Yeah, the NFL was nothing when it started. Look at it now.
Wow.
But the golf on TV is presenting you a product that's very. It has all the scientific information as far as TrackMan and all. It's wonderful. So give it time. I guarantee it's going to help you.
You'll come around. Anything Tiger touches is gold. That's the bottom line. How about that? As long as Tiger can breathe, the TGL is here to stay. A couple other topics to get to. As far as both of these leaderboards you're watching right now in pro golf, Charlie Hoffman and Rico Hoey lead the way at the American Express at 16 under. You also have a couple of star players that we haven't seen in a while, Charlie. Justin Thomas is 3 back of the lead at 13 under. And Ricky Fowler is 3 back of the lead at 13 under.
They're both making good comebacks.
They sure. Ricky yesterday shot a 10 under 62.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, Ricky's got a new family.
Yeah.
It's all evolving, and there's a lot of new kids that are very Blades, Brown.
Yeah.
The new kids on the block. So everybody's getting into the game of golf, and that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as the DP World Tour action, Tyrrell Hatton, actually Daniel Hiller from Australia, little known Daniel Hiller is in the lead there in Dubai at 13 under. Tyrrell Hatton is in solo second at 12 under. And then here we go with Tom McKibben in a tie for sixth at 8 under. There's been a lot of talk around Tom McKibben. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this name
Tell
yet.
me.
Yeah, 20 years old. He turned pro at 17 years old. He grew up at the same golf course as Rory McIlroy at
Okay.
Hollywood Golf Club. And, Rory's been mentoring him, Charlie. At 17, Tom McKibben was going to come to the States to play college golf. He was committed to play, I think, at Arizona State. And he had a conversation with Rory, decided to turn pro, made it up through the Challenge Tour ranks, and won on the European Tour last year. And now there is talk that McKibben's going to sign a $5 million deal with Liv. And interesting enough, Rory McIlroy chimed in on that discussion this week.
Yeah, I've known Tom since he was, 10 years old, 11 years old. And as soon as he got the offer, he rang me. I had just landed in New Zealand. We had a really good conversation, and I talked to him multiple times over the course of December to sort of get a feel for, what he was thinking, and obviously what, basically what he was going to do. And all I could do is give my perspective. I really like Tom as a person, as a player. I think he's got a ton of potential. Look, I said to him, if I were in your shoes, I would make a different choice than the one you're thinking of making. I think, working so hard to get your tour card in the States, that's something that he really did to achieve that goal last year, was a big achievement. And I just, I think what he potentially is sacrificing and giving up with access to majors, potential Ryder Cup spot, depending on, how he would play, it wouldn't have been, or, depending, look, I don't think anything's official yet, but it if I were in his position and I had his potential, which I think I have been in it before, I wouldn't make that decision, but I'm not him. I'm not in his shoes. He's.
Yeah, so that was Rory.
Did Rory say anything?
Nah,
he was afraid to say it. But, the kids coming out of college, you go to college, not only do you get a good education, but they show you how to live in a dorm, to get along with other people. You mature. It's such a great environment. They take you to your tournaments. They bring you home from the tournaments. You get fed. It's a good life. And then you go in to be a professional at the age of 23, 24. So I would tell him, if you can get a scholarship, go to college.
Yeah. Well, the tricky part is he has his PGA Tour card. He finished top 10 on the DP World Tour last year.
He's already made that decision.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to the
In
people
general.
that are thinking about doing this, and get yourself at a good university, a good college, whether it be, NCAA or
any level. Only 5% of the population is a college athlete,
yeah,
Charlie.
that's right. So anyway,
Charlie, is it's been 11 years since Rory McIlroy won a major championship. Will that change in 2025?
Sure, why not?
You've got Augusta, you've got Quail Hollow for the PGA, you've got Oakmont for the U.S. Open, and you've got Royal Portrush for the British.
Remember, Jack Nicklaus won his last major at the age of 46, and not that Roy is in Jack's category. It's close. It just proves that, today's athlete at 40, 42, 46, they're good, really good golfers, and they can win a major championship.
Yeah.
So, Roy, go get him.
Fully capable. A couple days ago, Charlie, they celebrated the start at Golf Channel. 30 years.
Yes, I enjoyed watching that again.
Since Arnold Palmer
Yeah.
cultivated the start of that, the channel that we, that's our Bible today. How about that? Do you remember when Arnold came out with that idea, and what did people think of that?
Well, everybody thought he was crazy.
Yeah.
And his business partner, thought they had a good idea in Arnold Palmer being Arnold, and he says, I've hit a lot of bad shots in my career, and I've hit them out of the trees, and this is going to be a gamble, but it's a gamble I want to take. So he forged ahead and been very successful.
And before then was how was golf shown on television? Was it just on Saturday and Sundays on
it was
CBS
on
and NBC?
CBS, NBC, so on and so forth, and it just grew and morphed into what it is today. And every time Augusta came on television, everybody loved watching Augusta. So that really, and Arnold Palmer winning and so on and so forth. So
they're almost at the point where you can watch every player hit every shot.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday morning on ESPN Plus, they go over to Golf Channel in the afternoon, and then it's on network television in the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, it's TV and golf's come a long way, Charlie.
Come a long way. I mean, if you'd have told me that I'd be sitting here 50 years later and at the twilight of my career, it's amazing what it's done.
Great work, Charlie. Listen, radio is not going anywhere. It'll always be here. Abigail, thanks for all your work behind the ones and twos. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour of Divine Disparity. We'll see you next weekend.
Bye-bye.